reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 175. I'm Chris, and as always, I am joined by the master of the Twitters, the MMO of MMO-ish's handle-ish. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hello. How you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing pretty darn good. Better than my intro would show. Better than my intro would show. And of course... Oh, go ahead.
Better than your intro with Wildstar?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And of course, the PvMP guru himself, the wonderful secret world knowledge man, guy, dude, Layanor. Hi, Layanor.
Hello, minions. I am 4% into downloading Wildstar.
Yay! And I'm in Wildstar. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of excited. Anybody who's watching live, seeing my character, my little dude, dance. Yeah.
He's not so little.
He's not. He's Granic, so he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Yep. Kind of look like the Thing.
Yeah.
He's just busting moves over there. He
is. I'm trying to tweet at the same time, and I'm not a multitasker. I suck, kind of a lot at all of that. Yeah.
I agree. It's very hard to Wildstar while we're trying to Wildstar here. So I gotta try to put the Wildstar down for a Wildstar, and we'll Wildstar for a bit.
Yeah,
right?
That sounds good. Yeah, Wildstar. So Wildstar. Anyway,
is this going to become a Smurf-ism?
Yeah.
I went to go Wildstar again, and those guys always Wildstar. I'm so Wildstar about it.
Yeah, some random person just started dancing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You probably deserved it.
Yeah, the cheers are awesome. You totally do the devil horns, like 80s rock sort of type of cheer. So that's kind of awesome. I like it. I heartily approve. So, Layanor, what have you been doing in game recently? We've got lots to talk about. We've got a show. So why don't you start and tell us what you've been doing in games?
All right, I'll keep it a little bit short since we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. LOTRO, I am 33% in the Entmore's PvP area.
Isn't that where you were last week,
I haven't been playing
too?
it that much. Yeah, I think I was like 32% or something like that, or 33%. I only went out to do Middle Earth at War show for about an hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of dead out there, so
really?
we do get slow nights every once in a while.
Do you think it was just a one-off, or do you think is it a sort of trend that you've been seeing in the moors of it getting a little bit slower?
I think it was definitely a one-off.
Okay.
There weren't very many leaders out there, and when there aren't that many leaders and it's just pug groups all over the place, they scatter like ants when you go through them. So it was just a slow night.
Yeah. Okay. What else have you been doing?
I got to. I was talking to my friend Draculetta.
I think I
say it right.
You remember Draculetta, don't you, Bill? From LOTRO
Yes.
Reporter? Yeah. constant.
He
chat
plays
room.
over on Landroval, and he got to power level me for a little while. So
He got to power level you?
am level. He got to.
It was his privilege.
It was his privilege.
Nice.
And I got up to level 35, I think 8 levels in about an hour and a half because
Oh,
I was
wow.
using my power leveling guide.
Yeah.
And what I really wanted to do, I wanted to have a character over that just wasn't like level 8 or something like that, so I can go and visit all of those things that Landroval does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I've been to
And
most
not
of them,
get
and I think
killed
my
on the way
character is
there.
like level 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's mostly Ales and Tails and Weatherstock that I've been to. So those are never anywhere dangerous, really.
Well, and they're usually well babysat too. So
Very correct.
It's not like you have to solo your way through dangerous territory where there's zillions of creatures that are 20 levels higher than you. It's
Absolutely correct.
usually a pretty well paved run.
Yeah.
So then I started playing the Secret World off and on throughout the week. And I made a penetration build. Sounds kind of
Phrasing.
sexy, doesn't it?
I was going to say,
Did I beat you to it, Bill? Sorry.
yes, you did. You beat me. Damn lag.
Phrasing. That's just bad. Anyways, moving on. So
The
Secret World, yes.
Secret World, the penetration stats
Bounce.
avoids it avoids glances and stuff like that. It just avoids that stat and just hits the target, and it's almost like a crit.
Oh,
So
cool.
it does like crit damage, and so my character right now in PvP is basically a glass cannon. Anybody that comes up and hits him, he will die automatically. But if I'm sniping off of a wall or something, they're either going to get killed in one shot or they're going to be hurting real bad.
Somebody's gonna get hurt real bad.
Someone's going to get hurt real bad.
Have you
'Cause I
seen
will
Russell
make it
Peters
happen.
before? I love Russell Peters. Russell Peters is awesome. You know Russell
It's-
Peters, don't you, Bill?
Of course, it's a Canadian thing.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Is that
should
have
is that
to
like
look up-
red green?
No, it's a stand-up
It's exactly like red green.
But it
There's
is.
no difference.
Yeah. Well, there's less duct tape.
Oh.
So about those MMOs. Anything else? And you got a new show up, right?
Yes. I was approved today to do to post my show. +1 keyboard, which is a very, very that's like a play of the words of +1 armor. Eh? Kinda nerdy,
I see
huh?
what you did there.
I'm hoping to just focus on Let's Play videos. We have all kinds of things on the network. We cover all kinds of news on all kinds of MMOs, and we really dive serious into a lot of these games. And a lot of times, we just really don't talk about how much fun that we have in these games. So I decided, well, why don't I do a Let's Play? Just grab whatever games, and whoever's available to play some stuff, and just put it out there and see what happens.
Very cool. Sounds like fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So you have one show now. You got you did some Secret World stuff, and you're splitting that up, and you have the first episode up, right?
Yep, got the first episode up right now. We got
Very
a couple
cool.
more coming along, and then from there, we'll see what comes out of the pipe.
Awesome. That sounds exciting. Can't wait to see more. Saw the first episode. I saw it, downloaded it there earlier. So very cool. All right, Bill. What about
Bill,
you?
what have you been doing?
What do you? Oh, I beat you to it
You
again.
stepped on my toes. Ow, my toes.
I've been just sitting here with just bated breath. Well, I waited in line a lot to play Wildstar. Lots of good line waiting. I don't know that I've had as good a line wait as Wildstar has provided for me in a long time. The
Yeah.
line waiting was well. And here's the thing, and to be serious for just an accidental moment here, I feel really spoiled by Guild Wars 2. Now, let me qualify that because the Guild Wars 2 at release had its own issues. It wasn't a perfect experience or anything like that. But the idea, and people actually to this day still complain quite a bit about overflow servers. But let me tell you, on Saturday, if I had had the option to go into an overflow server and actually play the game, even if it wasn't necessarily with the people that I wanted to play with or in the guilds that I wanted to be in or anything like that, that would have been better than staring at the screen that said, you are number 3,000 in line, prepare to wait 5 hours to play. I feel like we should have evolved past that. We should be it just seems like that's such an old tech way of dealing with these things.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, reading the forums about it too, the argument that a lot of people seem to make that are kind of defending the way that this has worked is, oh, this is the way it's always worked. Even World of Warcraft had queue times. Thank you. That is exactly the point. Yeah. World of Warcraft 10 friggin' years ago had queues. We have not figured a way around that yet.
We have, actually. We just not, for some reason, it's not implement. There are several different ways around it. But
layers.
Different layers, different overflow server technologies are the two biggest ones right now. ESO uses the mega server, but uses different layers, and Guild Wars 2 uses the overflow. And both of those work well. There are no queues for either of those games. So
anyway, it feels like a dropped ball here, a little bit.
And I think it's a little bit of a it's a short-term big issue. It's a pretty big issue that, you know, I mean, you played on a different server for a while. We have yet to play together. We were going to on Saturday, but hello queues. Yeah. And I think it is. I do think it's a big issue right now. I think in another week it won't be a big issue anymore.
For the people that are still playing and interested, I have a sneaky feeling this is the kind of thing that colors people's opinion of a release. Yeah. I think you and I have been around or been through, and Layanor too, of course, have been through enough MMO releases to kind of realize that yes, it's a common pain. It's not necessarily the end of the world, but it does leave a bad taste in people's mouths. So again, it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity there. But anyway, I did eventually get in game and I played, and you know what? It's fun. I like it. I did betray the exiles and roll up a Chua. I thought you would be thrilled about that, Chris.
I
did.
am, but come on, seriously, exile's where it's at, dude.
I don't entirely disagree, but I feel like I need to. This is it's like the tapas spread for Wildstar. I need to try a little bit of everything here. So
you want the hamster ball, don't you? That's why you did it.
I'm actually the hamster ball is not exactly what I was going for. While I was messing around with the character creator, I saw that there was one particular skin for the Chua where they have facial hair that covers their entire face. Yes. And I thought that was just what I needed. So I have a faceless Chua, and it's awesome.
That's awesome. It's like Cousin It from Addams Family, right? Did I remember that right?
Sort of, except just with slightly more teeth.
Huh. So did you make him like my Asura in Guild Wars? Is he a little bit derpy?
He's a bit derpy, except when he's blasting you in the face with double lasers.
Oh, you went with one of those, did you?
With a spell slinger. I thought I'd try it out, see how it is. I think the class that's most interesting to me so far is the engineer, but the spell slinger seems interesting as well.
And is that all you played, or have you played anything else?
No, I did roll up an engineer as well, and
on the correct server and the correct faction.
Yes. So I have a Granok engineer that is just patiently waiting to be played, and it's on the correct server as well on Storm Talon, and Storm Talon is the most populated PvE server, by the way. Way to go!
That's my guild.
Bravo.
They voted. So
they voted poorly.
I did vote for Storm Talon too, so you can blame me a little bit.
Okay, I'm done. So anyway, but yeah, that was pretty much it. Real life, I was out of town for the weekend, went to a wedding. Congratulations, Tiggy. And So yeah, that was pretty much all the gameplay I got in this week. How about you, Chris? Did you play anything? You probably didn't have time for games at all this week, did you?
My feet and my ankles still hurt from that wedding, by the way. I think we missed one song on the dance floor, maybe two. And even when we went to drink, we would drink for part of a song and then go back out. So, yeah.
It was like somebody put a Dance Dance Revolution mat on the floor.
No, it was just, I like to dance. Yeah. Anyways, I played Wildstar and some Wildstar and Wildstar and Wildstar and Wildstar and Wildstar and Wildstar and Wildstar. I did a lot of Wildstar. I played a little bit of Rift during some Wildstar downtime, but really, I played Wildstar. It's awesome. I had a little bit of a hiccup because I misunderstood as we were planning characters and stuff like that for me to be, and so I had my Esper alt, and then I went and leveled him up to 10 while I was waiting for my wife to get up on the day of Head Start, the morning of Head Start, and was playing him, got him up to 10, and then played with my wife on my warrior, got him created, and went through, and then realized that my wife was not going to be playing enough to keep up with me, Selenia, for getting up into the rating and stuff like that. So I created another character, caught up to where we were with with my warrior, and then ditched them and ditched Selenia and moved ahead with my warrior as I am right now. So
how many classes is that? Is that like 17?
Three.
Or?
I've got 3, 10, around 10. This guy's now level 11, but yep, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm really enjoying it. I liked the Esper again after last year's PAX Prime 2013. I hated the Esper, hated the Esper, and now I am kind of okay with it. It's kind of a cool class.
Well, they throw magic swords and knives. I don't know how you.
The lack of mobility did it for me. The Esper is the typical glass cannon of the standstill and attack, whereas the Spellslinger is way more mobile, and then the Stalker, as far as the DPS heavy classes, Stalker is much more slashy. Warriors, of course, warrior, and then Engineer's range and stuff like that. But Spellslinger is much more mobile. So yeah, so I really enjoyed it. The issues on the first day were fairly minor as far as game breaking, and by that I mean like there weren't constantly issues that were crashing the game. They didn't have to constantly reboot the servers for hot fixes because things were so absolutely wrong. They did. I mean, there were issues with the entitlements, like the bags and the boom boxes and all that sort of stuff, but that sort of quality of life issue was what it was. They have changed the costuming now, so you have to go to the costume vendor to change your costumes, which I am unhappy with. So you cannot just change your costume out and about. You have to go to a costume vendor to change your costume. Yeah, I'm not okay with that. But apparently
that was a problem with PvP and lagging it.
No, the problem was that people apparently, this is what I've heard from a couple different sources, people were using the costume slots as bag space. They would load up the costume slots with all sorts of different items, and you could make 8 different costume slots, and it didn't cost you anything. So it kind of put the premium of bags sort of out the window because you had all those extra spaces. Now, what I do think that Wildstar needs is the ability to set up a couple different gear sets for, I'm going to want to have a DPS build and a tank build for my gear at least. So I will have more specs than that, but my gear will probably stay mostly the same for tank and for DPS. So I would love a gear set changer, but they don't have that right now. So, but anyways, other than that, the other thing I wanted to mention too with Wildstar, with the boom boxes that you got, I don't know if you remember, we talked about this a little bit. in the open beta and part of the closed beta as well, every day that you logged in, you got three boom boxes, and these boom boxes were basically random fun loot stuff. I've opened a couple now, and I've received things like renown boosts and reputation boosts and housing items. So that's the sort of stuff that we're getting from that. But the thing that they did that I didn't know about, and maybe I just missed it, was that they are only openable once every 21 hours. So I have another 66 boom boxes left, and it will take me 66 days to open them all. The highest I've seen is 120 something, 130 something from someone in my guild. So
how's that? Is that even mathematically possible?
Yeah, they logged in every single day that while the program was on, and that's the maximum that you could get, 3 per day. You know, and the open beta was open every day for a bit, and then the closed beta at the end was open all the time too, right? Wasn't just weekends. So
true.
So yeah. So my guild already has a few people at level 50. I'll look right now to see how many. 1, 2, 3 at 50, 1, 2, 3, 3 at 49, and a whole bunch in the 40s, and even a whole bunch in the high 30s. So I'm far behind my guild as far as leveling, but that's, you know, gosh darn it, Tiggy, why'd you get married?
Yeah, was downright inconsiderate, really.
Well, inconvenient more than anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should have thought about Wildstar's launch when he picked his wedding day.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'll forgive him.
That was what we call poor planning.
Yeah. You really find that funny, don't you? I don't think it's quite that funny, Layanor.
True gamers.
Yeah, we're kind of pathetic.
I don't see it that way.
The pathetic or the true gamers?
Yeah, pathetic, of course.
Yeah, okay. We're not pathetic, Bill.
Yes.
We're just on our way there.
Correct.
Yeah, but overall, I just really am loving the game, and it's connecting with me. And we knew this was going to happen. I'm a fanboy, and I've admitted that wholeheartedly. I'm connecting with this way more than Elder Scrolls Online, and it has to do with the combat being much more fluid and much more interesting to me. The world, I like the humor of this game a lot more, but again, that's the world of ESO is an Elder Scrolls game, and I think it does a great job. I feel the same way that I feel in playing Skyrim and stuff like that, slightly bored. So it's working well for that. But anyway, I'm really clicking with that. So yeah. Any questions, Layanor, at all for Bill and I about Wildstar?
No. Our first news thing is going to be about it opening up, so I'll probably have some questions then.
Okay, well then, maybe we should move things along. What do you think?
Let's
move it on.
All right, let's move things along. So we've got some news about Wildstar, huh?
So, what you're telling me it launched today? I mean, Saturday? Have we slept since it launched?
It launched today, and like the regular launch, Head Start was on Saturday.
Yes.
So yeah. So it did launch today.
That was easy. Next story.
Yep. We already talked about. Any questions, Layanor? You said you'd have questions later.
I think I read something about something special being on launch day, other than just it being launch day. I can't remember now. I was hoping you guys knew.
I think the big thing was that they actually released their guest passes today too. So everybody who pre-ordered gets 3 7-day guest passes, which they can share with their friends, so their friends can wait in line to play Wildstar.
Increase the line. Share the love, right? Increase the line.
Share the love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that happened, and I've got those. I shared one with Isani. Isani's not into Wildstar as much as the other sort of humans are. So we'll see.
Double kill.
We'll see if we could sell to her.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know why anyone wouldn't love it. But I think the fanboy-ish thing might be an issue.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's all the big news today, other than they're doing a little bit of patching here and there and everything like that to try to smooth things out. I think they also announced free server transfers today too, to try to even out the population.
Very
a bit.
limited though. It's from high pop to new/low pop servers, so it's not from anywhere to anywhere. Basically, you want to get off Storm Talon? Here you go.
Oh, doesn't Google have some sort of authenticator for this?
Oh yeah, they do have, and that was announced last week. They actually have a few bonuses as well for people who use the authenticator. The first one being you get a 2% experience boost on all of your characters. It's account wide, so it's that's a really, really cool thing. And then there's a couple of other things. I'm trying to look it up here, but I can't quite find it quick here. But yeah, so there's some bonuses, and I think that's pretty cool to have that in the game. Don't you, to have bonuses?
No, the bonus to the 2% experience, I think, makes it pretty. It's actually kind of a big deal, especially at the start of the game. You think your experience is just gonna kind of roll through that much faster. It's
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Here we go. It's you get a cybernetic eye patch, so a costume item, an in-game title, and a 2% XP bonus to XP, renown, and prestige.
pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm just for signing up for the authenticator. Now, I mean, it's a little bit of a pain compared to other things in that you have to click in the code, but that is such a tiny pain and such a tiny annoyance for the security of having it. You know, you can't use any sort of keyloggers. They're not going to be able to figure out what your authenticator algorithm is by doing a keylogger, because you actually have to click. And it randomizes where the numbers are every time, so they can't even do like a pattern recognition thing in that way to try and crack the algorithm because they move the numbers every time. So that's kind of cool. What do you think, Layanor? Are you a fan of authenticators?
I've never used one. The only one that I know about is the World of Warcraft one that seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, and the World of Warcraft one is exactly the same technology. The Google Authenticator is just sort of an open source one that anybody can sort of buy into, right? And what
do you get like the keychain thing or anything with that?
No, it's an app on my phone.
Oh, okay.
And what I like about it, and you can do that for WoW too, you can get the mobile authenticator app. And what I like about it is that I was able, on my accounts page, when I went to set up the authenticator, I just went into the account page, had a QR code there, well, basically a little pattern, and I loaded up the app and took a picture of that with my phone, and it automatically set up the authenticator. So I didn't have to do anything else. It was super easy, well worth it. Super duper worth it. And do you have it set up, Bill?
No, I haven't. I'll add it to my to-do list.
Yeah, oh, totally worth it. Totally worth it. I can't imagine not doing it for anyone who has a smartphone reliably available. So, yeah, pretty cool. All right, Bill, why don't you go into our first news story here, which kind of makes me a little bit sad.
I was just going to say a little bit of sad news, so I hope we don't have to dwell on it too long. But Mythic Entertainment has been officially shut down. And Mythic, of course, is famous for their Dark Age of Camelot release, Warhammer Online, and lately they've been running, or had been running, Ultima Online. Now, Ultima Online is still going. So is Dark Age of Camelot. Dark Age of Camelot's actually been shuffled over to a different studio now. I can't place the name off the top of my head, but it has been moved over But yeah, all the people from Mythic who'd been there for a long time. I don't know. It's an old school development house, and sad to see it not there anymore.
Yeah,
the cool thing is, though, they sent everybody over to a job fair.
Really?
Yeah, it says it right there. EA.
Oh,
EA
yeah.
or with other companies via an upcoming job fair.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that they're trying to help their employees find other employment and stuff. It's pretty common now in the industry. You see it on Twitter all the time. Whenever a studio closes like this, you'll see tons of tweets from developers and from members of the press, basically just sort of pooling together the knowledge base of who's hiring, and putting all that information out. You see it all the time, and I think that's a really cool thing. I'm no longer surprised, but at first, when I started covering games, I was surprised at the lack of animosity between employees of different studios. There's friendly competition, I'm sure, like, hey, you know, my baseball team's better than your team, blah blah blah, sort of thing. But there's very little animosity between the different game developers, and they really just want everyone else to succeed. You know, even the competitors' games.
Yeah, there's not a lot of mutually exclusive competition in games anymore. I mean, the possible exception might be those paid subscription MMOs like Wildstar and ESO. There might be a little bit more snarly competition, but when you're talking about the developers, I don't think they see it. The developers are there just to make the best game they can. The marketing guys might not like the guys from the other company or some of the upper management or something like that, but I bet you the developers, they're just they make good games, and they're probably interested to see the good games that other people make.
Yeah. No, agree totally. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to go back. I totally forgot about this. It just popped back into my head about Wildstar and about the Head Start launch. No, this is not a funny thing. They were actually DDoS the night of their Head Start.
Oh yeah.
And it was a bad DDoS attack. They really got hit hard. Their servers were down for the game, the login servers, not the actual game servers, the login servers, and on the site. So I was trying to put in Seleni's information, and I was trying a good couple of hours before the Head Start, and they were already getting DDoSed. And I was quite, I won't say surprised. I'm never surprised at stupidity anymore about DDoSes and stuff like that, but man, that what a way to put a damper on a night that's already going to be rough, right? So it took about, I think the average for my guild at least was about 45 minutes to get into the game on Head Start. So anyways, just wanted to mention that. It's kind of sad.
I actually thought about that, and I'm actually I didn't actually even want to mention it, just because all it is, it's an attention grab. Whoever did it is. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if it was. Actually, my worst thought, or my worst concern, is that it was an extortion thing, that somebody reached out to Carbine and said, "Hey, that's a nice MMO launch you got there. It'd be a shame if it got DDoSed."
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I wanted to mention it because I know that people are going to be talking about, you know, because Head Starts are fun for the people like us who like to, you know, get into the server first thing, not like, you know, jaded people like Harry who wait a month before they play an MMO, or suggest that people wait a month. I like that. I'm willing to put up with even crap like that to get in that first night. I find that exciting. I find it fun. Yep. And to have that experience marred by somebody's stupidity, I wanted to mention it for that, so that the word did get out that it wasn't just crappy infrastructure, but on Carbine's part. Mm-hmm. So yeah. All right. Moving on to the next story. EVE Online has launched their new expansion, Kronos. In this expansion, players will be tasked with hunting down a particular sect of pirates, the Guristas, by hunting through a nullsec system for the prize data. CCP's dangling 8 new ship skins as potential rewards for the successful searches. So Kronos is going to include rebalance of 38 ships, a heap of new modules, and a total overhaul of the drone weapon system. So more content for those wonderful EVE people. They are a special breed of players, and all the more power to them.
I know Harry hasn't been playing, but I somehow I just believe he's got an opinion on this.
Yeah. It's
I don't
too
know.
bad
I think every time that they update the game, Harry's on it, and he's just secretly playing.
It's his.
Oh,
it's, go
so
ahead.
he's quote unquote sick, is what you're saying.
He's sick today.
Oh,
It
I
launched
understand.
today. He's sick today.
All right, somebody DDoS Eve, would you?
No, we don't.
No.
No,
No,
that's not funny.
no. But if Harry's playing, no.
If Harry's playing, there's like billions of dollars of damage in ships.
What, he bumps into everyone?
Well, we'll hear
excuse
about
me,
it
pardon
tomorrow.
Me. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me.
Crunch.
I'm a horrible person. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, I'm always surprised is the wrong word again. I keep saying that, but I'm always wonderfully surprised by the regularity with which CCP puts out content, and they it really seems like they kind of learned their lesson with the whole walking around stations thing and the captain's quarters and all that, where they're really the content that they're creating for the players, not to push them in any sort of direction, but instead to give them more of what they already like. I don't see, not for a while at least, they haven't really come out with a lot of content that's been expanding the game system in a brand new direction, something brand new for people to try. They've been putting out sort of great content that follows the same formula as what they've put out in the past. And all you EVE players can correct me. Just send an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. Or sorry, Layanor@gmail.com. That's where you send the hate mail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's our hate folder. That's our
Maybe
respond to first folder.
Maybe we should start sharing Steve's email as the hate mail address.
Friggin' Steve at MMOreporter.com.
Friggin' Steve.
I'm not sure Steve could take it. I'm not
yeah,
sure
he's a little bit of a gentle soul. Yeah.
I think I hear him sobbing in the corner now. I think he was just about to speak up and then he lost it. It was unfortunate.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you're at all curious, if you're someone who's EVE curious out there, don't forget to check out EVE University and take the online courses in learning how to play EVE, and then
learning how to EVE.
In learning how to Wildstar, I mean EVE, and you too could be a Kronos.
Yes, agreed.
If
Layanor.
the game was free to play, I would play it. I hear a lot of times where they're just like mining materials and stuff, and they're working with their corporations and stuff like that. I don't want to pay for that.
I don't disagree, but I have a feeling that's approaching sacrilege in the EVE community.
Yeah.
Harry's not here. I can say whatever I want.
Oh, he is not going to be happy with you.
In other news and also releases, it's a busy week. The Secret World is come out with their update tomorrow, which is today right now. And it is the Tokyo update. This is the tomorrow today for yesterday. This is their biggest release. They're adding a brand new area of Tokyo, and the next couple of issues that are going to be in the game later on are going to be another area. Let's see. This is issue 9, so issue 10 and 11. There's going to be areas in each one of these issues. So
issues in
there
each
isn't
one of these issues.
That took me a while to do, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't get what you're saying. There's going to be more story. Is that what these issues that you're talking about are?
each issue is like a small expansion, like an update, and they add stories. They add extra content for people to go through.
Got it. I died again, by the way.
And this one and the next two that are coming are basically expansion sized altogether.
Okay.
So they're, because of the secret world, everything is kind of secret, especially the story. And they really didn't explain too many things about what was going to be happening in Tokyo. But there was a video that they did post underneath a different name altogether. And it basically just shows Tokyo talking to its citizens and telling them that there's an infection, that people need to stay in their homes and not group up in groups. And if you're infected, to please go to the nearest guard towers to be extracted from the area. And of course, they're gunning everybody down and killing everybody. So it seems like a big, huge zombie outbreak, but it doesn't. There's no zombies to be seen. So whatever's going on is interesting.
Cool. So what, and any word from the community on excitement for this? Is this something that they're looking forward to?
They've been looking forward to this for quite a while because the issues that come out, they have small stories that come out about every 2 months. Yeah. And as soon as you get it, you kind of just fly right through it and you're done. And the community isn't so active anymore because of that, because all of the raids are already done. You know, people have done them over and over and over again. And the game isn't even that old. It's coming close to 2 years. So you can kind of go through the content kind of easy and quick.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So people
it's 2 years. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that. It still seems like yesterday.
Yeah. That you were running into groups and lighting barrels on fire to destroy all the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my biggest memory of the first area. Oh, look,
And
a
the second
conveniently
area.
placed group of zombies. Conveniently placed next to a burning barrel that you can use to blow them all up. Isn't that
Burning
convenient?
barrels. It's like zombie attractant. It's it's like perfume for zombies.
Huh. Is it still built like that, Layanor? Like as you've gone through some of the different stuff in the game?
It is still built like that, but that area that you guys are talking about, it does, after that area, it does change. Like, you do start going through Egypt and stuff like that. You start going through cultists and, like, super cool demon mummies and a lot of naked demons, by the way.
I understand why you play now.
Yeah. They're adding in a new system. The system's kind of interesting. It was going to be for PvP, but then they ended up yanking it out because it would be kind of complicated. What it is, it's called the Aegis system. And it's kind of like a slotted armor, slotted weapon type of system where you put something in it to get a stat effect. This is kind of like
about this a while back? I remember talking about that term, the Aegis system.
Yeah. It was about a month ago or something like that.
Okay.
But they changed it. They changed it since then. What it is, it's to make it easier to explain. It's kind of like an elemental system that you can switch on the fly. And there are mobs out there and there are bosses out there that will switch the color of their elemental, and you have to switch to attack it properly.
Oh, okay.
And it's only going to be in Tokyo for right now. They might make, if it's popular, it might go into the other areas.
Yeah.
But they're testing this system out right now to change things up and make things a little bit fun.
Right.
And it sounds kind of interesting. I don't know of any other game that has anything like that.
Not to switch on the fly like that. It kind of sounds like, because it's slotted gear that you put different things, elemental powers or stuff into, like bonuses or actual powers.
Bonuses. It's
okay.
for you to actually attack. Like if the mob turned yellow, like if it put up an Aegis shield of yellow, you would have to switch over to yellow to attack it.
Okay. But and so you've got your yellow, you've got your different things, and you've slotted bonuses, or is it just you find the different attunements and then you're done and you're ready to go?
I'm not exactly sure about that.
Okay. I was wondering if it was something like the gems in World of Warcraft, or was it something more like that you leveled, like the legendary weapons in LOTRO, or what it was.
Double kill.
So
Yeah, it's one of
I
those
guess we
things
don't
where
know.
I need to sit down with it and actually try it out.
Yeah.
The new areas are closed off to people that aren't buying the area, so you can't just walk into the new area. Unfortunately, so you do have to buy Tokyo to enter Tokyo. Unfortunately,
And is that how they've been doing their stuff before, or because I thought they were going with the like totally free model?
well, they went for that, and this is the first update where there are actually new areas.
Oh, okay.
So there hasn't been new areas since that update.
Yeah.
And then
Since
a
they
couple
went
other
free to
things. By the time the third issue comes out, the third content,
Yeah.
they're going to be adding in a new lair area, a new dungeon, and a new raid. And there's supposed to be a new scenario map as well. Those are kind of like skirmishes.
Okay.
And they're adding some really good content. So this is pretty cool. This is actually pretty big for them.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see some more stuff from Secret World 2 on +1 keyboard.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah. So are you? Is any of this sounding attractive to you at all, Bill?
You know, it is. Yeah, Secret World was one of those. It was a game that it was a decent game. That if it hadn't actually been for Guild Wars 2 coming out right on its heels, I probably would have given a better shake. I tried
A lot
it.
of people say that.
I really kind of feel bad for Secret World. I think they were really a victim of MMO timing, but ultimately, yeah, I don't know. It's getting a little bit of Eve syndrome for me now, in that it's looking a little bit harder to jump in on. I have to admit that even what you were saying about the Aegis system, that almost, it seems like more complexity that I want to try to take on. Like, not in and of itself, but that layered onto everything else you have to know to play Secret World. I don't know. It's little tiny barrier to entry there. We'll see.
Oh, and I did want to ask, Layanor, for all this new content, is it level gated to max level, or is it, how do they do things in the Secret World?
The game doesn't have levels in the first place, so you pretty much, if you pay for the content, you could just go up there and start playing. Your levels are kind of based on how much damage you do with your weapons, like your weapon quality.
Yeah.
So if your weapon does a lot of damage, you know, if it's a rare, you're going to do okay in Tokyo. If you have like a weaker level, which is like a quality 4, 5, or 6 or something like that, you're going to have a hard time in there. So that's kind of like, you know, the level gates.
Okay. So, okay. So it's just basically the content just gets easier. You can do the content with the not super supreme gear, but it just gets easier as you get the good gear and more possible for you to succeed.
Yes, even the quests even tell you too. When you start getting better weapons, it'll start saying that the quests are easy or very easy or something like that.
Yeah.
Where if you have a really weak weapon, the quest will tell you it's a devastating quest.
Okay, that's cool. That's a good way to do it. And is there ways to inspect mobs so you can see whether or not you're going to have a challenge with them, or whether you're not going to be a challenge for them?
I haven't figured that out.
Okay.
I always just base it off the quests. It's a little bit different because some mobs are orange and some mobs are red, and I don't know exactly what those mean yet.
Yeah.
But I've been playing it for quite a while, so I just base the area by quests, and that's about it.
Okay. Cool. I don't know. I didn't, and this is another one. It's like ESO. I didn't hate Secret World. It just didn't really click with me. I loved the art style. I loved the world design. But the gameplay was just not my thing. It wasn't bad.
The thing that really hooked me on the game was how you get skills. You have that whole big huge wheel of skills. And I'm a Magic the Gathering player for a long time. If you start looking at some of these skills and you start just grabbing skills from all of these different weapon types, you can put a bunch of stuff together that works perfectly together. Like the penetration build that I was talking about earlier. a lot of the things set off your skills. Like, okay, if I crit, I get a bonus in penetrate. Now I'm penetrating. Okay, so now I'm doing extra damage, and if I'm hitting something that is already penetrated, I can do ×2 damage again. And then I get other things too, like if it's crippled or if it's afflicted or any other kind of damage types, then there's other things that happen to it, like everything in the area also takes damage, or as soon as this thing dies, everything in the area is rooted and stuff like that. So you get this Magic the Gathering chain combination stuff with your skills, and that gets kind of addicting after a while.
Okay, is there anyone else whose inner 12-year-old boy was just giggling throughout that whole thing?
I think yours were louder than everyone else's.
Yeah, okay.
I used to play EA Soccer 2009, and my kicker used to be named Penetrator.
Yeah.
And that's how I end that story.
All right. Well, there we go. That's we do have a letter from a listener, Lichero. We do have a letter, but as he and Harry were talking on Twitter earlier, we're going to leave this one for next week. But I will hint, we have a listener in Kuwait. We are international, gentlemen.
I love it. We've replaced our secondary audience from Denmark over to Kuwait. I love it.
Correct. That is correct. We did have, and he was in the chat room for the longest time every week. We had one from a small area of like it was its own sovereign area between France and England, and he was there.
Oh,
was
yes,
really cool.
the Isle, or
yeah,
what was that island called again?
See? Because we mentioned something, because I looked, this was when we were just starting, and we would see like, ooh, we have one listener in this country. And I could do Google Analytics and find all that stuff out, right? And we're a little bit bigger than that now. We have I can say we have listeners in every continent except for Antarctica. So that's pretty cool.
Well, we got to work on that.
Yeah, no kidding. We're slacking off, really.
Yeah. Anyways, so I had mentioned that we had this listener. Somebody had downloaded the podcast from that place, and I had no idea where it was. So he came to the chat room a couple times.
Be quick.
Yeah. So that was cool. I was impressed with it at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good email.
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about it next week.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill, actually, before we do that, let's do a quick shout out to our sponsors for this episode, Doghouse Systems. Use the coupon code MMO Reporter at doghousesystems.com, and you will be able to get yourself double the amount of RAM that you pay for. You pay for 8, you get 16, etc. So you want to get yourself a great system, head on over to Doghouse Systems, check out their laptops and desktops, and pick the one that works best for you. But don't forget to use the coupon code MMO Reporter, and you'll get double that RAM. And of course, Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. You like audiobooks? We want to help you out. Go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter, and you can sign up for their plan that they've got there, their 1 book a month. And hey, you know what? By going to that link, you will get your first month free. So you can check out that book, and you know what? You can keep it forever. That audiobook, it's yours, even if you cancel. So that's
forever.
Forever and forever and where.
Don't be late.
Wov. Twoo wov. Yeah. Here we are, bunch of guys hanging out, talking about MMOs and Princess Bride.
Inconceivable.
Why? Because it's awesome. All right, Bill. Why don't you talk about some of the different ways that people can get a hold of us?
I have a whole bunch. Let's try the first one at our website, MMOreporter.com, which is the hub for all MMO Reporter stuff, as well as our other podcasts hosted on the site. Check it out, MMOreporter.com. Send us an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com, just like Lucero did, and we'll be happy to respond. And like I said, any of the angry ones could be sent to friggin' Steve at MMOreporter.com. Facebook, try us over on facebook.com/MMOreporter for our presence there. You can tweet at any of us, either at MMO_reporter, at Layanor, at MMO Bill for yours truly, or if you're looking for the sickest one, try at Harry Hall. That's HOL at the end, because otherwise it's just Hall. Anyway, send us a voicemail at 616-666-6778, or click the widget on the right side of MMOreporter.com. And finally, head on over to youtube.com/user/MMOreporter network. Do you like the pause in there? There's no actual pause in the address. And you can find net, as in go fishing and use your net.
I thought you said neck, like neck.
No. There's the MMO Reporter Neckwork is a totally different thing. Rule 43, or no, Rule 34, isn't it? Anyway,
Don't even go there.
not going there. At our YouTube channel, you can find streaming content or stuff that we have streamed in the past, YouTube-ified versions of our podcasts, and as well as like different con coverage and stuff like that we've done in the past. So check it out there. And also, that's it. No carrier pigeons this week.
Nope. Another podcast apparently was trying out the carrier pigeon thing, but somebody warned them on Twitter that we had been working on it for years to no success. So it's nice to be helpful, right?
Complicated engineering. It's complex. It's just a notch below perpetual motion.
Yeah, but a notch above MMO Reporter T-Cozies.
Oh, yeah. God. The Oompa Loompas are just impossible to coordinate there.
Don't even get me started. All right. Thanks, Layanor. It was a fun show.
I am currently 49% into Mystery Awaits.
Okay.
That's what the logo says on Wildstar.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. Thanks, Bill. Hopefully we didn't Wildstar you too long today, and you were able to Wildstar in Wildstar.
Wildstar.
That's right. And of course, thanks to everyone for downloading the podcast week after week. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun chatting and talking to you. Love to see some more letters and voicemails, of course. So yeah, thanks for downloading the podcast week after week. We really appreciate it. We hope that you download it again next week. But most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every